Hello, my name is Jesse Reichler, and I'm excited to give you a tutorial here, the first tutorial of a series on authoring cases for New York Noir. So you can see I've brought up the New York Noir website, nynoir.org, and I'm not logged in, so this is exactly what you would see if you first get to this page, and we're just going to give a little tour here. If we click games, we can see a list of published games by other authors. Here's a case by me called The Wrong Book. If I click on here, you can see some basic stats, and then I can download the PDFs to play the game with some extra information here. Okay, on the downloads page, you'll see various other downloads, rules for the game, brochure, extra downloads. On the About page, you'll see just some general information of the build of this current website. Again, those standard downloads. But then here's the most important thing. We've got a link to the Board Game Geek page for New York Noir, a link to the YouTube video series I've done talking about the design of the game, a link to our Discord chat server where I am most of the time, a link if you want to download this website in Docker form. That's for advanced users, but if you want to create games and build them and maybe customize the tools offline, you could try it using that Docker image and then my email to contact me directly. Okay, so if you want to make a game, you want to make your own case for New York Noir, you're going to need to create an account. So I'm going to click sign up here. I could use an email and username password, but I'm just going to connect to my Google account. Okay, get this page asking for permission. I'm going to say go ahead, connect it, and here I am signed in. In the future, just going to log out here. In the future, if you came back to New York Noir website, you just click login, Google, continue, and there you are logged in. All right, if I go to my profile here, you can see it's nothing fancy, just my basic information. I don't have any current games. All right, now if I go to the games page, the one thing that's different now is at the bottom of the games page is a new button called Create New Game. Now that's what we want, although when I click on it, you'll see it's not quite as simple. If I click this, it says I don't have permission to create games. So for now, in the early days of this website tool, I need to add you manually if you want to create games. So I've just got a list here of a couple of ways you can do that. You could email me, etc. So off screen now, I'm going to go do the administration that I would do to add the ability to author games to that account. Okay, so I've saved it. Let's see if it works without me logging out. I'm going to click Create New Game now. Okay, so here's the page I get when I create a new game, and it's a small screen here. Normally I have a bigger window, but for this video I have a smaller screen. So I'm going to try to create a new game. So I'm going to give it a name. I'm going to call it my game. Okay, preferred size of the paper that gets generated. So I'll show you why, but whatever, if your printer is A4, then choose A4. If it's a letter, choose letter. All right, and then preferred layout for testing. It's often helpful to have one lead per page, so I'm just going to leave this. But I could also try the standard Sherlock Holmes Consulting Detective format of 2 columns per page. When you build a full set, all of these different versions will get built, but this is just your preferred version for testing. Then is the game public? I'll leave that blank for now. All right, and then all of your case, all of your game is going to be in the form of this marked up source code that you're going to write. And then you could have some additional instructions here. Okay, now when you want to write a new case, I've got a suggested template here, a sort of starting point. This link here is the same as the link you'll get if you click here. So I'm just going to click here. That'll open a new tab. to a shared Google document with a sample starting case. That's what you see here. These 4 pages are a full sample buildable case. So here's what I'm going to suggest if you're going to write a case. Start from here and then make a copy. I'm going to call this my game casebook like this. Now I've got a copy that I own, and this is what I'm going to be modifying for as I write my case. This Google Doc is going to be the canonical source code for my case. And that's my suggestion, that you use Google Doc. Now you could use any text editor. It's just plain text. You can see it's got the headings bolded, but that's not important for the game at all. It's just the raw text. But using Google Docs has some advantages, especially in terms of collaborative editing. But I'm just going to go in here. I'm going to change the name to my game. All right, and then I'm going to change title, my test game. I'm going to leave the rest as it is. We'll modify that later. Okay, but remember, this is my Google Doc. This is going to be persistent forever. Google Docs will track versions. I can send this link to an editor to help me work on it. But all right, now how do I build it in New York Noir? I'm just going to do Control A to select everything and Control C to copy it. I'm going to go paste it in here. So I've pasted the source of my game into the full game text box, and then I'm going to click Save. All right, so here is my test game. All of this information here about the author, the difficulty, the summary is all information that it's taken from here. And I'll go into all this on a second video, but for now, suffice it to say that, I'm going to click Edit again, that other than this information, the short name for the game, and then the slug, this is basically how it shows up on the website. Basically, all of the details of the game, including the contents of the leads that people visit, are all here, but not just the leads, but all of this information about the difficulty, the duration, it's all in here. Okay, so now I've saved my game, and there's other things you can do to allow other editors in the system to edit your case. But if we just ignore all that, we've got a couple things we can do. We can upload files. And I can't remember, does this case make use of an image? Yes, no it doesn't, it's commented out. Okay, so I don't need to do anything here. I can just save the game. Now I'm going to click on Generated Files, and I'm going to tell it to quick build my preferred format. So I'm going to click this button, and here it is. It's queued up the creation of this PDF. It could take a couple minutes depending on how many users are on the website, how much work it's doing. Okay, well, it's still running, but it's producing some files here. It's generating a LaTeX layout file and then compiling that LaTeX, and now it's done. Okay, so you can see what it's done. It's made the LaTeX file. This is sort of the typesetting source file using the typesetting tool LaTeX. And then it's converted it to PDF and then zipped all these if you wanted to download the full set. But really the PDF is all I care about. So I'm going to click on the PDF. And here you can see is the built game. Okay, there's the title I specified, author information. We've got an index table of contents over here. This is just a PDF file. You could download it, print it out. It's created a table of contents. These are all clickable, so I could jump right here to the day one introduction, and here it is. You can see it's pulled in some standard instructions, case log file for the player to write on. Here's our day one introduction with a little tombstone, and then some boilerplate stuff, and then a lead section, and then a documents section with a sample document, and then a little question and answer session, final scoring session, and a hint section. Okay, so that's what got generated from this source code file. So you can see that's what defines the cover page. That's what defines the table of contents. There are the instructions. It told it to bring in these predefined instructions to embed that case log chart. This is creating the day one introduction. This was the lead section you looked at. That's the document section you looked at. There's a sample document that we looked at. There's our questions and final scoring, and there's our hint section. So this is the source of your game, and this is the final output of the game. If I knew how to, oh, I guess I can, there. Do we have a fit page? Page fit. Okay, so here is the PDF of the game that got produced using that code. Now there's lots of fancy things you can do when you write your game, but this shows you the basic process. So if you wanted to go and modify that more, we could go in here and change some basic information about the author. I could put in my author information here. And I could say this is now version 1.1 on January 29th, 25. Difficulty, duration only 1. And then I could modify my long description. Okay, again, then I would copy this, go to my game, edit it, paste it in here, go up, save it, generate it, and rebuild it. That's the basic process. Now, there are other things that could happen. You might get errors, and it'll tell you the error in the line number. You might find that you'll occasionally be making some changes here to get rid of an error, but remember that you probably want to keep your actual source code for your case file in this Google Doc, just because of all the benefits of having it as a Google Doc, of the collaborative editing, the version control, etc. All right, let's see if it's gone back. Okay, so it's finished building it. We can take a look at it. Here it is. You can see it's now using stuck in my author information, etc. So a subsequent video will go into actually writing a good case and how you would write your leads, but that's all basically going to be done in here. The steps I've shown you for how you edit your game, create a new game, edit it, rebuild it, that's all. You just saw the steps for that. Now, this ability to quick build this preferred format is probably the thing you'll be doing most of the time while you're developing your game and testing it. In fact, you can go with one click from here, this button here, save changes and build preferred. Once you get a case that you like, I mean, once you're ready for other people to test your cases, then you could scroll down here and check out these other things. You can build a debug version, which sort of builds a version with extra annotations, extra reports, helps you find problems. Then you could use this draft build, which will build your case booklet in all different formats. Format in letter size with one lead per page, best for playing it on a tablet, but then a separate page for 2 columns for condensed space. Anyway, it'll build 10 or 15 different versions of your case that may be more easier for others to playtest. And then when you're happy with all that, you can click to publish your game, which will bring it into this area here. So right now you can see this test game is private. Only I can access it. Other people won't be able to. But once you get your game ready to be played, then you could go and edit it and make it public here and go to the generated files and actually build a draft, check it out, and then actually publish it. But that's the basic steps to using the New York Noir web services to build your case. In a subsequent video, I'll go into more detail about how to actually write the meat of your case, the main parts of your leads and your introductions. But this is your little overview.